Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well, and I hope today's video is going to be as much fun for you as it is for me to show you what I am about to show you. Today I am going to show you how to make an ebook cover mockup, or an ebook mockup. So you don't need me to tell you how popular ebooks are. Perhaps you have written one. A lot of people have written one for various reasons. Maybe they go along with a physical book, or maybe it's a lead magnet for your blog or your business or whatever. And it's kind of cool to be able to showcase your ebook, in a fun and creative and eye-catching way. So today I'm going to show you how you can do something like that using free tools. All right, so we're going to use Canva. And because Canva has an integration of Pixabay in there, you're going to be also using free graphics and free backgrounds and all kinds of fun stuff. So just to show you real quick, if I were to type eBook Mockup into Google, then you would see here, okay, a lot of these are in what would be called like a landscape type of mockup photo, okay, a little wider than it is tall. Sometimes you'll see them, in a square type of shape as well, but most of these are in landscape. So that's what we're going to do today. However, I will show you at the end that I created the exact same thing in a square for an Instagram post, and it worked beautifully. All right. If you are not familiar with Canva, which I know most of you are, it's a free design program. They also have a pro version. You can do a ton of stuff in the free version, and you can do a ton more stuff in the pro version. Good news, today you don't need the pro version. All right. So real quick, as you can see here, if you were to scroll down or do any searching in any way, you will see a lot of, ready-made templates, stuff like this. You can click on and just modify them yourself and personalize them, and then you can always create things from scratch. Okay, today we're going to create our design from scratch. So I'm going to hit custom size, and I'm going to do a 2000 by 1500 pixel photo because I just kind of like working with the size more often than not, because it's landscape, but it's a little bit more forgiving. It's not too landscapey, okay? And what this is going to do, it's going to open up in a new window. So the first thing that we're going to do here is we're going to create our background. You don't absolutely have to have one, but in order to make it look really cool, I think it's important. So what we're going to do here, okay, is we're going to type in office flat lay and hit enter. And you're going to see that a ton of options are going to show up. Now, just real quick, if you're not familiar with Pixabay, I've done videos on Pixabay where I talked about the 5 different places where you can get free fonts and graphics and stuff like that, free images and stuff. Pixabay was one of them. And I've also done a video on their commercial use licensing terms, but they're integrated here and it's wonderful and totally free to use. So what we're going to do, I like this one. So I'm simply going to click the button. It's going to bring the image in, and I am going to adjust the size here so that it fills the entire screen. Okay, the reason I chose this one, it has a little like element here. It's a little decorative, a little eye-catching, but you have a lot of empty space here. That's what I want, okay? And you can, if you want, if you have a little extra room, which I did, you can always kind of move it over if you wanted to and maybe take a little bit of that out and create a little bit more room here. Okay, I am going to go ahead and just sort of keep it centered. All right, and Canva, as you can see that line down the middle there, Canva kind of lets you know where you are at any given time in your design, which I love. All right, and if you want to maybe brighten that up, make that a little bit lighter in the background, you can certainly do something like that. You'd want to be careful though, you don't want to brighten this part up too much, but you can certainly do that. All right, so now that we've got our background, I am going to type in, we're still in Pixabay, I'm going to type in tablet, hit enter. As you can see here, it's bringing in 2 different ones. We're going to go with this one. There's a reason for it, and I will let you know why momentarily. So I'm just going to resize it and leave it right there for now. I'm also going to type in smartphone. Okay, as you can see, you have a couple different options here. All right, I'm going to go with this one. There's another reason why I'm going with this one. Well, for starters, this is transparent. This is white, okay? But the other reason I want to go with this one is because, as you can see here, the top and the bottom are square. Whereas here, I'm just going to bring that in real quick, there's like this extra element here. Now, if you bring your ebook cover into this, it's going to be, you could totally cover this up and that's fine, but why not just use one? I mean, if you don't have anything else available, then fine, you could probably just, you know, cover that over. But if we do have an option, I'd rather just go ahead and use one not only with a transparent background, but at the same time, just something with a nice clean line on the top and the bottom. Okay, so that's what we've got. So I've got them situated next to each other here. Okay, so now we have our elements. We've got our background, we've got our tablet, we've got our smartphone. Now we need our book cover. I took the liberty of creating a little book cover, you know, ebook cover specifically for this video. However, if that, and I'm going to assume that you might already have a book cover as well. But if you don't and you want me to do a video on how to use Canva, again, for free to create your own little ebook cover, you let me know in the comment section and I'll do a video on that. So what I'm going to do here, I uploaded my ebook cover here and I just am going to bring it in. So I'm going to bring it over here. And as you can see with the tablet, because it's wider and so is the ebook cover, it's going to be a little bit easier to go ahead and bring that in. Okay, so what we're going to do here is you can see the ebook cover part of it itself is highlighted in blue. That means that's what's movable right now. I'm going to move it backwards. So now the tablet itself is what is going to be editable. And as you can see, there's a tiny little bit of white space on the top and the bottom. You can do one of two things. You can either bring the ebook cover itself back to the front and edit that, or you can simply make the tablet part a little bit smaller. And as you can see, now it kind of fits the screen. Okay. So voila, I am happy with the way that looks. And what I'm going to do right now is pair it. So like I told you, the reason that I had brought this one in versus the other one is because I like to be able to take the cover and kind of push it behind what I would consider this to be like a frame, okay? Whereas with the other one that I would have used, I would not have had that option. So now we're going to group this. I am left clicking. As you can see, this entire thing is now highlighted. I'm going to hit that group button, and what's really cool is now this is one unit. If at any time I want to ungroup them and make these two separate elements, I would simply go to ungroup. Okay, and it also works. You can resize, you can do all kinds of stuff with it. We're going to do the same thing now with the smartphone. Okay, I'm going to bring that in. This one is going to be a little bit trickier, and the reason is because this is, your ebook cover is actually much wider. Well, not much. It's wider than your phone. The phone is narrow. Okay, so this is what we're going to do, because I've kind of played with this several times, and this is what we're going to do here. It's not absolutely mandatory. I mean, if you have a little bit of white space behind or whatever, I mean, we'll kind of play with this for a second real quick. All right, and I will show you that you can, you know, you can do some stuff here. You want to just be careful that you are not cutting off anything important, okay? But I'm going to tell you right now, there will be a little bit of white space around this, and it's going to bother me a little bit, right? It's going to depend a little on your particular book cover, okay? But like I said, it just kind of bothers me. So I'm going to just undo a few things here, okay? And what I'm going to do is I am going to create a little something here to take this white out. This is why I wanted a transparent version of it. Okay, so I'm going to go to Elements, and I'm going to hit this little square. It's going to bring it in. All right, by default, it's going to match it to the book cover, which is actually pretty cool. It's another thing that Canva had started doing. It can kind of pick up the color that you're using, and it'll match it perfectly to certain things. In this case, however, I don't want this background to match the book cover because I have a border there. Okay, so it wouldn't make sense to have the border wind up being lower or higher than the top or the bottom. So yes, it's pink, but in just a second, as you can see here, I've got some photo colors here. So that is black, okay? But this right here, that's going to be a little bit closer to this color here, okay? And you can, if you want, you can kind of, you can kind of do a little bit of work here and match that, okay? And so we do actually have a much better match, okay? You practically don't even see it. Let me just go ahead and kind of bring that up a little bit more, because I really kind of don't want to see any white space. All right. And you might be thinking, why is she keeping the camera rolling while she's doing all this editing? And the reason is because you might have to go through this, so I want you to watch me do it so that you get comfortable doing it. So now I've basically created one unit here, and if I were to bring this, hang on, position, we're going to bring that one forward. So if I bring this in, it's just more forgivable, okay? Because you can't really see like a quote-unquote frame there. All right? And you can still, you've still got a little bit of wiggle room here, but now you don't have to try to compensate, for a bunch of white space, because it would just be a distraction, okay? You can take this. Actually, what I should have done is I should have taken this. Hang on, I'm going to send that backward. And now I'm going to take this. And you don't actually have to send this backward, but we kind of can. Right? And so now it looks like the phone is sort of like hugging the book, which I like. I'm just going to do a little bit of adjustment, and there we go. I think it looks good. I'm going to do the same thing that I just did with here. I'm going to group it. So now this is also one unit. So there you go. All right. Now we've got our main elements here. You don't absolutely need anything else. You can always make these maybe a little bit bigger if you want and kind of call it a day. I mean, we totally see stuff like that a lot of the time. However, what we're going to do is we're going to add an extra little element real quick. We're going to add a little bit of verbiage. So let's make these a little bit smaller. This is optional, but why not? So what we're going to do here is I'm going to go to text, and as you can see, there is a ton of different really cool designer options here that you can use, okay? However, when it comes to stuff like this, I'm going to go ahead and use very plain writing, okay? So let's just say, your book is on Amazon and you've already gotten a review or something to that effect, and maybe you want to showcase the review. Can certainly do that, and I would highly recommend it. So what we're going to do here is I'm just going to put, I don't know, fun to read. And what we're going to do is I'm going to throw in a little quotation mark there, exclamation point, quotation mark there, okay? And you can choose all kinds of different fonts here. I probably wouldn't go with anything there. I like that one a little bit better. You wouldn't necessarily go with anything too crazy or too fancy because you want people to be able to read this, okay? So you can leave that. You can always bold it if that is an option. There you go. Okay, fun to read. Okay, hang on. Let's bring these down a little bit. And you can always resize this. You can place it in different areas, okay? Now I'm going to add a subheading, and in the subheading, I'm simply going to put a little dash and Amazon reviewer, okay? You can maybe italicize that, all right? And then what you can do is you can kind of play around with this a little bit, and it'll sort of tell you, you see how that little dotted line just showed up right in the middle? That's to let you know it is centered, okay? And if you're happy with that and you don't want it to move anymore, you want maybe to keep them a little closer together, I think I will bring that up a little bit, okay? You can also group that, and now you can move that. And again, you can always ungroup these things. We're going to add one more fun little element to it. and I'm going to add 5 stars. All right, so first we're going to color the star, and what we want to do is we want yellow. However, now I actually think that is just a fine color yellow, and we don't necessarily want these too big, but if you do decide that you want to alter the color of the yellow, you would simply hit that, and you can drag it around and change the color and, you know, do all that fun stuff with it. Okay? So now that I have the color and the size of the star that I want, I am going to duplicate this 5 times, or 4 times. Okay? Duplicate, 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 duplicate. So now I've got 5 stars. I'm going to move these out of the way for now. All right? And we're going to create a line of them. And again, you can see that little line in the middle letting you know they are centered. All right. That one. And that one. Okay. And at any given time, you want to, you know, make sure that you've kind of got them even. Okay. So as you can see, now we've got our 5 stars, and I'm going to group that. Actually, hang on. You want to kind of be careful, if you can, to not like get anything else in what you're trying to group. So let's group that, and now you can, actually I don't know if these will get any smaller. So you want to try to get the size right as best as you can at first, okay? However, you could do something like that, and there you go, okay? And then you can always, if you wanted to, you can ungroup. You'd want to kind of click out of that, and then maybe you can take that there. I mean, you can, basically, you can kind of arrange all of this however you want. You can turn this whole thing right here. Actually, no, you can't, because I don't think you can group within a group. Okay. So once you've grouped something, you won't be able to group it into something else. You'd have to ungroup. However, and I hope that's not too confusing, but it's just food for thought. Okay. So there you have it, guys. There you have it. And if at any time throughout this process, let's go ahead and group that back together. If at any time throughout this process you want to undo something, you would simply go back here and hit the undo button. All right. So this is what it is to create a little ebook mock-up. And I think it is eye-catching. And if, you know, if you wanted to create a little something to catch people's attention, you know, to show them what you have done, then something like this would totally work. All right. It's artistic. It's fun. You don't have to have any special skills, and it was totally free. Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed learning how to do that. And as promised, I went ahead and I created an Instagram version of the exact same thing. And it worked. Okay, the only thing I did not do is, you know, I didn't adjust the lighting, but you can always come in here and do stuff like that after the fact if you really wanted to. Okay, so there's your square Instagram version. Okay, there is your landscaped version of it. And like I said, I thought it would be fun to teach you guys how to do this, because it's always cool to be able to create your own stuff, and it's fun to go from, you know, I have no idea what I'm doing, to wow, I can totally do this. So I hope you guys had fun with this. Real quick, what you want to do is you want to name it, you know, eBook cover mockup. All right. And then you would simply go ahead and download it. I would probably choose the PNG, but if you're going to do Instagram, obviously you would do a JPEG. Okay. And then I went ahead and I even threw Insta afterward. Okay. So there you have it. And that's what it looks like. So guys, like I said, I hope you had fun with this. I had fun teaching it to you. I know it was a little bit long, but there was a lot involved in it. And I would just tell you, have fun. You know, go back into Pixabay and find some different flat lays. And you can do this. I mean, you can create a version just like this, and then maybe you can take something like this and just do the tablet or just do the smartphone. And if you're tired of Pixabay and you want to do something else, I can tell you right now, I have a friend who has, I mean, she's actually starting to create these ebook mock-ups herself. They should be out soon, but she does beautiful work, and she gives away like a whole bunch of free ones if you sign up for her email list, and she's not gonna start emailing you a bunch of crap. That's Posh Stock Images. Her name is Corey. She's super talented. She takes all of her own photos. Okay. And then you can always go to places also like Creative Fabrica, and they've got flat lays and stuff that you would be able to work with. Okay. And then real quick, before we end, I wanted to let you know I'm a big fan of Creative Fabrica, and right now they're doing a major promo. So if you know anything about their subscription plan right now, if you wanted to try the all access, which gives you unlimited access to like over 3 million fonts and graphics, the first month you're going to get this for $1, and then I believe after that, I'm not sure what the price is after that. I think it's like it's discounted from whatever it normally is. I will leave this link in the description box below, and like I said, it's like one monthly fee and you get access to all of this stuff. Okay. Lastly, again, Creative Fabrica, they're having Christmas in July. Okay, and basically what that means is like you can download all kinds of stuff for like $1. Okay, or something to that effect. All right, actually it's not $1. Major sale going on. All right, I will leave the link in the description box below. You can check that out. All right, guys, so in the meantime, I hope this finds you well, and until next time, take care.